Political parties spend millions trying to persuade you to vote for their candidate. But there's more to it than just convincing you. First, they obsess about whether you are worth convincing.
The whole art of politics, in presidential politics particularly, is to target those people who are with you at the beginning and leave them alone until you need to get them to vote. Target those who are going to be against you and don't stir them up, and focus everything you can on those who are persuadable.
And that may just be 10% of the people? 20%?
Yeah, well, it used to be about 20%, but now this year, particularly, it's down to about 10%. So the art of finding that 10% is really going to be key to all this.
No one did that better than Karl Rove. He pioneered what he called microtargeting, and that was credited with winning the 2004 election. He compiled reams of information about people.
If they own a gun, what magazines they read, what car they own.
We had a micro-targeted voter file in which we had up to 225 pieces of household-level information about them. We knew what kind of car they had.
Republicans today most often drive Ford Mustangs, Audis, Mercedes. Democrats are more likely to own a Honda Civic Hybrid, a Volvo, or a Nissan Leaf. They even watch different TV shows. Conservatives like Dancing with the Stars and Modern Family.
You won't have to pay taxes for the rest of your life.
Liberals are more likely to watch Law & Order or 30 Rock.
Tonight, TGS will not be the worst thing on television. It'll be John Stossel. Who's with me?
Yeah, not surprised that liberals watch that.
What difference does that make?
It tells you things like, if you want to reach an independent swing woman voter, buy the House and Garden channel. If you want to reach a Republican-leaning but less likely to vote independent swing man, go buy the Golf channel.
Rove did research on blacks who might vote for Bush and found many are Christians who watch these TV preachers.
Now in the name of Jesus, I command this debt out of my life.
So Rove placed advertisements there.
In Ohio, in 2000, Bush got 8% of the African-American vote. In 2004, he got 16% because we were able to identify a group of African-American voters who, though their history was overwhelmingly Democrat, we had clues that gave us a sense that they might be reachable.
This year, consultants want to reach not just swing voters, but swing voters in these 10 states.
And you take a map of the United States and you just cross out states. Just cross them out. Say, we can't win here.
The rest of us, most of us, don't really count. We live in the wrong state. I live in New York. My state's electoral votes will go to Obama. No doubt. Doesn't matter what I do. Or if all New York swing voters shift their votes. If you live in Texas, same deal. Doesn't matter who you vote for. Texas will go to Romney.
Why campaign in the other states?
We don't. Why waste our time?
They do go there, but just to raise money from rich people. But otherwise, the consultants ignore 40 of 50 states.
This is not about a national campaign. It's about persuadable voters in a few states. That's what matters.
Today, campaign managers copy Rove's numbers-based strategy. 2 steps. First, identify your key voters, and then get them to vote.
Your only priority today is getting people to vote.
They call it GOTV.
My name is Marilee, and I'm a volunteer calling to ask you to vote for me.
Have you had a chance to go vote yet?
Hundreds and hundreds of volunteers to knock on their door. You have to call them and remind them today is caucus day, today is voting day. You call them once, you call them twice.
And I was just calling to remind you that today is election day. And
You can't just trust what they say on the... You call them again?
Sure. You
and
make
you
sure they know where their polling place is. It all boils down to this one day, so you have to make sure your voters get out there.
Hi, my name is Annie.
Today, the phone system's automated. A volunteer presses a button. The phone automatically dials the likely supporter, and her name pops up along with a script.
Have you had a chance to go vote yet?
The campaign had called these people months before.
This is a very close race, and we appreciate your getting out and voting.
And the computer kept track of who said they'd vote for their candidate. Then, on election day, you call them again to make sure they did.
You did? Well, wonderful. Thank you, Mrs. Casey.
If you suspect they might not vote.
Show up with a bus, show up with a personal car. People don't just vote anymore. Now you go and pick them up and take them there.
Yeah, and it's in our